Good day, I'm Tamara McHale, and this is your GIS News for Thursday, September 15. Education Minister Senator Ruel Reid has ordered the Petersfield High School to reinstate a 12-year-old boy who was denied entry due to non-payment of auxiliary fees. Minister Reid, who has denounced the actions of the Westmoreland-based institution, says the school's board will be summoned for further discussions on the matter. In March, the Education Ministry abolished the mandatory payment of auxiliary fees at high schools and has increased its subvention for each child by 65%. In response to the Petersfield High incident, Minister Reid asserts that he has a zero-tolerance approach to schools that disobey the ministry's guidelines on auxiliary fees. He is reminding school officials that no student must be denied access to any school. In the meantime, the Education Minister is encouraging the instilling of discipline as a pathway to prosperity.
So I'm saying and signaling to the entire education fraternity that I am going to be strong on safety, strong on discipline, and once the rules of the school are established, everybody have an obligation to follow those rules. I want to make it very clear. What I ask administrators to ensure that you're fair and firm in exercising your responsibility.
The minister was speaking at the official launch of the new school year at Tivoli Gardens High School on Tuesday. The function also served as the unveiling of a new school bus. Senator Reid revealed at the function that 400 new school safety officers would be trained. And the Community Safety and Security Branch of the Jamaica Constabulary Force will be introducing police youth clubs in scores of schools this academic year.
We started out with 50, but because of the excitement in the schools, we have had over 100 schools asking us to start this police youth club program in the schools. So for this year, we are looking at about 100 to start off with instead of 50.
178 school resource officers will also be deployed for the 2016-2017 school year. Jamaica's economic growth indicators continue to show positive results. Co-chair of the Economic Program Oversight Committee, Richard Biles, says the country is expected to meet its net international reserves and primary balance targets for the September quarter.
So the NIR at the end of August stood at $2.5 billion, and that is versus a target of $1.44 billion for September. So even compared to the September target for the IMF, our NIR at $2.5 billion is way ahead of that number. The primary balance is at $36.4 billion, which is considerably ahead of the target of $14.2 billion.
He says the results are driven in part by improved tax revenues and government's lower than budgeted expenditure.
So once again, I want to pause and just recognize the tax authorities who seem to be doing a pretty good job.
Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is calling on Jamaicans to denounce and ostracize those who choose to get involved in lottery scamming. Insisting that lottery scamming is criminal, he says anyone engaged in the act will be sent before the courts. Minister Chuck, who was speaking at a recent community sensitization session in St. James, says government is taking a zero-tolerance approach to lottery scamming and other crimes that are threatening to tarnish Jamaica's name. He says government is prepared to extradite scammers who can be connected with their victims in other countries, and sufficient evidence is provided. Sport Minister Olivia Green says her ministry will be focusing on a number of initiatives to ensure that Jamaica continues to unearth, nurture, and promote world-class athletic talent at all levels. She made that assertion Tuesday night at a welcome reception for several members of Jamaica's contingent to the Rio 2016 Olympic Games. The athletes were greeted upon their arrival at the Norman Manley International Airport.
There are some athletes who want to see that their work is recognized by us creating a legacy that will be lasting. That we provide better infrastructure, that we provide better support for them, and that we ensure that that nursery of young athletes coming out of the basic schools, the primary schools, secondary schools, that we would have ensured that they have even better facilities and better opportunities, and that you don't have to fly out to go and get treatment when you need it. but that we will work towards providing first-class facilities for our first-class athletes.
A special program of activities to recognize and celebrate the achievements of all members of the Rio 2016 Olympic team and the Paralympic athletes who are competing in Rio will be held in October around Heroes Weekend. And finally, the application deadline for the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology's National Innovation Awards has been extended to September 30, 2016. The biennial award ceremony is scheduled for November 16 and will recognize excellence in technology and innovation and creativity in various areas of science.
We are giving a chance for individuals, whether in schools, universities, at home, in the communities, but individuals working at home here in Jamaica, right? For them to bring forward their innovations, their inventions. And it doesn't matter what it is.
The National Commission on Science and Technology's Director General was addressing a recent JIS think tank session. He said outstanding innovators would have the opportunity to win cash prizes, as well as support from the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology and other partners to develop their ideas and bring them to a commercial level. Applications for the National Innovation Award should be sent to Mrs. Andrea Carr, Coordinator, Innovation Award Secretariat, at the Executive Director's Office of the Scientific Research Council. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Tamara McHale. Thank you for watching.